How did one drunk honesty moment end with divorce papers being handed to me in my work lobby? Why did my husband stay calm, say almost nothing, and still make the law speak for him in public? My name is Sula Morrow, and I always thought I was a patient woman. I told myself I carried our whole life on my back. I had the kids, the job, the house, and the feelings. Ethan had his work and his calm face, and he acted like that was enough. That morning started like most mornings. The kitchen light felt too bright. The cereal box was open, and Noah was shaking it like it was a toy. Lila sat at the table and drew small circles on her paper. Ethan stood at the counter with his coffee. He always used the same mug, the dark blue one. I used the white one. 2 mugs on 2 sides, like a quiet rule. Ethan asked if I could pick up more diapers on my way home. I said yes, but I also said he could do it too. He asked why I sounded sharp. I said I was tired and he knew that. He looked at me the way he did when he wanted to stay calm. He asked if I slept at all. I said I slept fine, and I asked why he needed to check me like that. He said he was not checking me, he was asking. I said it felt like a check. I watched him put his phone on the counter, screen down. I knew that move. He did it when he wanted no surprises. He did it when he wanted control. That is what I told myself, at least. Lila asked if Dad would come to the school winter show. Ethan said he would try. I laughed a little and said he always tried, and somehow it never happened. Ethan looked at Lila and then at me. He asked me not to say things like that in front of her. I said I was just being honest. I said kids deserve honest parents. He opened his mouth like he wanted to argue, then closed it again. That silence always bothered me. People think shouting is scary, but silence can be worse. Silence makes you feel like you do not exist. I told myself he did it on purpose. I put Noah's jacket on him and pulled the zipper too hard. He whined. Ethan reached out to help, and I stepped back. He asked if I was mad at him. I said I was not mad. I was just done feeling like the only adult in the room. He said he also did things. I said he did tasks, not care. We walked to the car. The driveway was damp. Ethan had parked his car facing the street like he planned to leave fast. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was just how he parked. Still, I noticed it. On the drive, Ethan asked what time I would be home. I said the normal time. He asked what the normal time was now. I said he was acting like my manager. He said he was acting like my husband. I said husbands should trust their wives. At daycare drop-off, Noah grabbed Ethan's shirt and did not want to let go. Ethan said he would see him later. He sounded soft, and that made me annoyed in a strange way. It was like he was being the good parent in public. I told myself he liked being seen that way. At school drop-off, Lila hugged Ethan first, then she hugged me. Ethan told her to listen to her teacher. I told her to be strong and not let kids boss her around. Ethan looked at me again, and he asked why I said that. I said girls need to learn early. He said she was 7. I said that was exactly why. When we got home for a moment, Ethan went inside to grab his laptop bag. I followed him, because I did not like being left out of things in my own house. He went to the counter and picked up his phone again. The screen lit up before he turned it away. I saw a small reminder on his calendar. It said, "Meeting, personal 10:40 a.m. The location line was blank. I asked what that was. He said it was just a meeting. I asked with who. He said it was personal. I said everything in a marriage is personal. He asked why I needed to know. I said because I was his wife. He slipped the phone into his pocket. He said he had to go. I said he always had to go. He asked if we could talk later. I said we could if he did not make it feel like an interview. He left, and the house got quiet. The quiet did not feel peaceful. It felt like I was standing in a room that was slowly changing shape. In the kitchen, I saw a sticky note near the junk drawer. It said, "Bring forms." I did not know what forms. I told myself it was for work. Ethan liked lists. Ethan liked being prepared. That was not a crime. Still, my stomach tightened like it was a warning. I went to my own job at the dental clinic. My job was simple on paper. I did billing, insurance calls, and scheduling. It was not glamorous, but I was good at it. I liked being good at something. I liked results. I always said respect follows results, and I had results. The front desk phones were already ringing. A patient complained about a bill. I used my calm voice and fixed it. I smiled the way you smile when you know you can handle a mess. In the break room, Maris texted me about Saturday night. She said the rooftop bar was doing a holiday theme. I said I might go. She asked if Ethan would allow it. I laughed at that and told her he did not allow anything. I told her I chose my life. Daphne called me during my lunch. She asked how things were at home. I said Ethan was being distant again. She said men always got weird when they knew they were losing control. I said that sounded right. She told me I deserved to feel alive. That word, alive, felt like a key in my hand. I told myself I was not doing anything wrong by wanting to feel alive. I told myself Ethan had left me lonely for years. I told myself loneliness counted as harm, even if nobody saw it. A sales rep came by the clinic later, Mason Trent. He wore a bright smile and spoke like he owned the hallway. He asked how my day was going. I said it was busy. He said busy women were the best kind because they knew how to make time count. I rolled my eyes and told him he was dramatic. He said I liked drama more than I admitted. He asked if Ethan was still the calm one. I said Ethan was calm but not warm. Mason said warmth mattered. I did not answer that. I just looked at my phone. I had a message thread that I kept on mute. I told myself muting it was responsible. I told myself I was managing stress. I told myself that because it sounded better than the truth. In the afternoon, I checked our joint bank app to see if a payment cleared. I noticed a small charge I did not recognize. It was not huge. It looked like a service fee. I stared at it for a few seconds and then told myself it was nothing. Ethan handled many things. Ethan liked systems. This was just another system. When I got home, Ethan was already there. The house smelled faintly like toner, like a printer had been used. I did not see paper on the counter. I did not see anything obvious. Still, the smell was there. Ethan asked how my day was. I said it was fine. He asked if I was coming straight home after work tomorrow. I said yes, and I asked why he kept asking. He said he just needed to plan. I said planning was not love. He said love also needed planning. I told him that sounded like an excuse. He asked what I wanted from him. I said I wanted him to stop acting like I was the problem. He asked if I thought he was the problem. I said he made me feel small. He did not argue. He nodded once, like he was filing my words away in a place I could not reach. That night, when he brushed his teeth, he did it without looking at me in the mirror. When he went to bed, he left a small space between us. I stared at the ceiling and told myself this was his choice. Still, I could not stop thinking about that reminder on his phone. Meeting, personal 10:40 a.m. Saturday came fast, and I told myself I earned a night out. I had worked all week. I had carried the kids. I had listened to Ethan talk about security updates and work tickets, like that was romance. I said to myself that a woman cannot live on calm silence. Ethan asked what the plan was. I said we were meeting my parents and Daphne at the family restaurant. He asked if it was just dinner or if it would turn into a thing. I said he always made everything heavy. He said he only wanted to know when we would be home. I said he should relax because nobody was on trial. He offered to drive. I said I would drive because he always drove like an old man. He asked why I was rude for no reason. I said I was joking. He said my jokes did not feel like jokes. On the way, Lila asked if she could get a soda. Ethan said soda was for special days. I said today was special because Mom needed a break. Ethan glanced at me and he asked if I was okay. I said I was fine, and I asked why he always talked like a therapist. The restaurant was loud and warm. The long table was already half full. My mother hugged me hard, like she wanted the room to see. Daphne waved her phone at me and said she was posting a story. My dad shook Ethan's hand, but he did it quick. Ruth and Frank were there too, because my mother insisted on one big family. I told myself it would look good. A big family looks happy, even when it is not. We sat down, and I picked the seat at the center. Ethan ended up near the end, next to the kids, like a helper. He asked if I wanted to switch, so I could be closer to Lila. I said no, because he was good with the kids. He said he was not a babysitter. I said he was being dramatic. The waiter came, and Ethan asked about allergies for Noah. I rolled my eyes and told him he acted like Noah would explode. Ethan said he was just careful. I said careful people were tiring. Daphne laughed and said Ethan was Mr. Safety. My mother laughed too loud. I saw Ethan's jaw tighten. The conversation moved fast. Daphne talked about her salon drama. Maris arrived late and slid into a chair beside me. She said she was sorry, and she said traffic was crazy. I said it was fine. Ethan asked where Maris parked. She said she parked in the garage across the street. Ethan nodded like he stored that detail, and I did not like that. My father asked Ethan how work was. Ethan said it was busy. My father asked if Ethan was still doing computer stuff. Ethan said yes, and he explained one small thing, very simple. My father looked bored. I jumped in and said Ethan loved talking about invisible things. I said he acted like a hero for moving files around. Daphne laughed again. Ethan asked me quietly if I could stop. I said I was not doing anything. He said it felt like I was making him small in front of everyone. I said he was making himself small by acting offended. I said men with real confidence did not need protection. Ruth put down her fork and asked if we could keep the tone respectful. I smiled at her and said I respected Ethan plenty. I said I just wanted him to loosen up. Ruth said loosening up did not mean being mocked. I told myself Ruth was always looking for a fight, even when she sounded calm. Lila asked me to look at her drawing on the kids' menu. I looked for 2 seconds and said it was nice. Ethan leaned in and looked longer. He told Lila she did a good job. She smiled at him in a way that made my chest feel tight. I did not want to be jealous of my own husband, but I was. He could win their love by being simple, and I had to fight for everything. The food arrived. Ethan cut Noah's chicken into small pieces. I kept talking with Maris and Daphne. Maris said she was planning a rooftop holiday party, and it would be full of real adults. She said no kids, no boring spouses. She looked at Ethan when she said it, like it was a joke gift. I laughed. Ethan did not. My mother asked Ethan if he ever took me on trips. Ethan said we had talked about it, but money was tight. I said money was tight because Ethan played safe instead of taking chances. My mother asked what I meant. I said Ethan never invested in fun. I said he invested in locks and passwords. Ethan asked why I was attacking him. I said I was not attacking him. I said I was explaining why I felt alone. He asked if I felt alone right now, sitting with family. I said I felt alone inside the marriage. I said he should understand that. Frank cleared his throat and told Ethan he could take the kids to the restroom if needed. Ethan nodded and took Noah away. When Ethan stood up, I noticed he left his phone on the table. The screen lit for a moment. I saw a thread named Follow-up. I did not see the details. I only saw the title before it went dark again. My stomach jumped, then my pride pushed it down. Maris leaned toward me and said, Ethan looked miserable. I said he always looked miserable. I said he liked being the victim. Daphne said men used sad faces to control women. I said exactly. I said Ethan did not even need to shout. He just needed to sulk, and everyone would pity him. When Ethan came back, he sat down and asked if we could leave soon. I said we just got there. He said Noah was tired and Lila looked quiet. I said kids can handle one late night. He asked if I cared about what they needed. I said I cared, but I also cared about not living like a tired old couple. Ethan looked at me and said he did not like how I spoke about him in public. I said he should earn better words. He asked what that meant. I said it meant effort. He said he had effort. I said his effort did not reach me. Ruth said she would take Lila home if we wanted to stay out. I said no, because I did not want Ruth acting like the stable parent. I told Ruth we were fine. Ruth said she was only offering help. I said help can feel like control too. When dinner ended, Ethan paid his part without complaint. He asked if I still wanted to go home. I said I was going to the rooftop bar for 1 hour, and I said he could come if he wanted. He asked if that would help us. I said it would help me. He drove us to the parking garage. The air smelled like concrete and old oil. He parked in a corner spot, far from other cars. He said he liked it for safety. I said he liked it because he liked hiding. He asked why everything had to be a fight. I said because he always acted like I was the problem. At the rooftop bar, the music was loud and the lights were soft. Maris was already hugging people. Daphne ordered drinks and told me to smile. I did smile. It was easy to smile when I felt chosen. Ethan stood near the railing with his soda water. He asked me how long we would stay. I said not long, and I said he could stop counting minutes. He said he was not counting, he was thinking about the kids. I said the kids were not fragile glass. Maris took pictures. She told me to stand in front. I did. She told Ethan to come closer. He did, but he stood behind us like a shadow. Maris posted the photo right away. She said it looked perfect. A few minutes later, my phone buzzed. I saw Mason's name, and my heart did a small, quick jump. The message was short, like it owned my time. He said he was nearby and asked if I was still out. I looked at Ethan across the rooftop, holding his glass with both hands, and I told myself I deserved one moment that was only mine. My phone buzzed again, and I kept it low so Ethan would not see the screen. Mason said he was close. He asked if I wanted him to come up. I did not answer right away. I told myself I was being respectful by thinking first. That is what I called it. Ethan walked over and asked if I was ready to go. I said not yet. He asked how much longer. I said 30 minutes. He said we had already been there an hour. I said time moves different when you are not acting like a guard. He asked if I was texting someone. I said it was Maris sending photos. He looked at the people around us, like he was counting faces. He said he felt out of place. I said he always felt out of place because he refused to try. He asked what trying looked like to me. I said it looked like not judging everything. Maris came over and said she wanted one more picture. She told me to stand under the string lights. Daphne pulled me in close and said I looked alive tonight. I liked that word again. Ethan stood to the side. Maris told him to smile. He smiled in a way that did not reach his eyes. After the picture, Ethan asked if I would leave with him. I said I would in a minute. He asked me to say a real time. I said I did not want to. He said he hated guessing. I said he hated not being in control. He stared at me like he wanted to say something sharp. Then he did not. He just said he would take the kids home and put them to bed. He asked if I could come home before midnight. I said I would try. He asked if I meant it. I said yes, and I meant it in the way I always meant things. I meant it until I changed my mind. He left, and the night got lighter for me. That sounds bad, but it is true. I told myself it was normal to want space. I told myself a wife is still a person. I told myself I did not belong to Ethan. Mason texted again and asked where I was standing. I said rooftop bar near the railing. He said he was coming up. When he arrived, he did not walk in shy. He walked in like he knew me. He said he liked the lights on me. I said he was trying too hard. He said I liked when someone tried. We did not do anything dramatic. We did not kiss in front of people. We did not touch in a way anyone could point at. We just stood close. We talked fast. He asked if Ethan knew how lucky he was. I said Ethan did not see what he had. Mason said that was why other men noticed. I knew that was the line. I knew it was cheap. I still took it. I told myself words cannot hurt if they are true. Daphne saw Mason and raised her eyebrows. She walked over and asked who he was. I said he was a friend from work. Mason shook her hand and said he had heard a lot about her. Daphne smiled like she had been chosen too. Maris came over and said she loved a mysterious new person. She asked if Ethan was home being boring. I said Ethan had the kids. Maris said Ethan always used kids as an excuse. I said he did. I let them say it because it made my choices feel cleaner. Later, when the bar was closing, Mason asked if I wanted to keep talking somewhere quiet. I said no. I said I had to go home. He asked if I was afraid. I said I was not afraid, I just had a life. He said I could have more than one life. I laughed and told him he watched too many movies. In the car on the way home, my head felt thick. I had not eaten enough. I could still see Ethan's face in the string lights, that tired smile. I told myself he would get over it. I told myself every marriage has ups and downs. I told myself my ups were necessary because Ethan had made the house feel like a waiting room. At home, the lights were off. Ethan had left the porch light on, but not the living room. The guest room door was cracked open. I saw a small glow under it, like a screen. I heard a soft beep, like a recording app starting or ending. It stopped when I walked closer. Ethan opened the door a little and asked if I was home. I said yes. He asked if I was okay to drive. I said yes, and I asked why he sounded like a police officer. He said he just needed to know. He did not step into the hall. He stayed behind the door, like it was his line. He said the kids were asleep. He said Noah had cried for me. I said Noah cries for anything. He said Lila asked where I was. I said Lila did not need details. He said she needed honesty. I said he was the one who liked pretending everything was fine. He asked if Mason was my friend from work. I froze for half a second because he said Mason's name like it was normal. I said yes, and I asked how he knew that. He said he saw him before, at the clinic once, when he dropped off my lunch. I said that was weird, because Ethan had never dropped off my lunch. Then I corrected myself and said he must have seen Mason's badge or something. Ethan said he was not trying to trap me. He said he wanted to understand. I said understanding is a two-way street. I asked if he understood what it felt like to live with someone who acted like a roommate. He said he did not act like a roommate. I said he did. He said he tried for years. I said he tried in his way, not mine. He asked if there was anything else he needed to know. I said no. He nodded once, like he had expected that answer. The next morning, Daphne called and said Maris wanted to plan a weekend away before the holidays. She said a lake house rental was cheap if we split it. She said it would be girls and family, and we could bring the kids and act normal. She said Ethan needed social time, and it might fix him. I liked the idea because it sounded like control. A weekend away can feel like a reset button. I told Daphne yes. I told her it could be good for Ethan. I told myself I was doing something kind. When I told Ethan about the lake house, he did not say no. That surprised me. He asked who would be there. I listed names. I said it would be fun. He asked if it would be respectful. I laughed and said he made everything sound like a contract. He did not laugh. He asked me if I had anything to confess before we went. I asked what he meant. He said sometimes a trip makes truth come out. I said he was being dramatic. He said he was being careful. The day of the trip, the house felt tense, even while we packed snacks and coats. Ethan checked the car seats twice. I said he did not trust me to buckle them right. He said he trusted me. He just wanted them safe. When we arrived at the lake house, it looked pretty in a simple way. The water was grey. The air smelled cold. Inside, people were already opening drinks. Maris waved a bottle and said we needed to loosen up. Daphne handed me a cup like it was a gift. Ethan asked where the kids would sleep. Ruth pointed to a back room and said she would help with bedtime. I was glad she offered. Because I wanted the living room energy. I wanted noise. I wanted the feeling that I was not trapped. Maris turned on music. Someone said we should play a truth game because it was funny. I said truth games were childish, but I sat down anyway. Ethan stayed standing at first. He asked if he could skip. I said he always tried to skip life. People laughed, and he sat down. The first questions were small. They asked about embarrassing stories and old crushes. I drank and laughed. Each drink made my chest feel lighter, like I had nothing to hide. That is a lie, of course. I had plenty to hide. But alcohol can make hiding feel pointless. Maris asked me, in that sharp, friendly way, what the wildest thing I had ever done was. I laughed and said I did not know. Daphne said I was not innocent. Someone else said Ethan looked like he could not handle a wild wife. Ethan asked what that meant. I told him it meant he was safe. I said safe was not always sexy, but it was good. People laughed again, and Ethan's face went still. I took another drink and felt bold. I felt like the room belonged to me. I looked at Ethan and decided I was tired of his quiet suspicion. I decided I would take control by telling the truth first, the way I wanted it told. Ethan asked me to slow down. I said I was fine. I said honesty would help us. He said honesty should not be a show. I said it was not a show, it was freedom. And then I started talking like the words were spilling out of a broken cup. I said I had cheated. I said it was not just once. I said it happened with different men at different times because I needed to feel wanted. I said Ethan pushed me away for years, and I did not want to die inside. The room got quiet in a way I had never heard before. The room stayed quiet, and I could hear the music still playing in the background, like it did not understand what happened. My mouth felt dry, even though I had been drinking. I looked around and waited for someone to laugh and call it a joke. Ethan did not laugh. He did not shout. He did not stand up fast. He just stared at me like he was trying to place my face in his mind again. He asked if I was serious. I said I was serious, but I also said it was not simple. I said it was years of being ignored. I said I was lonely inside my own home. Maris said something like she did not expect it to go that far. Daphne asked Ethan to calm down, even though he was already calm. My mother looked at her hands and acted like she was watching a bad TV show. Ruth got up and walked toward the kids' room without speaking, like she knew where she had to be. Ethan asked how many times. I said I did not count. He asked who. I said names were not helpful. He asked if it was still happening. I said I did not know what still meant. I told him he was turning it into a police interview. He said he was not trying to be police. He said he needed facts to protect his mind. I told him his mind was not the only thing in the house. I said my feelings mattered too. He looked at me for a long time. Then he said he was going to sleep in the other room. I followed him into the hall and told him not to make a scene. He asked what scene he was making. I said leaving the room was a scene. He said staying would be worse. I said he was punishing me. He said he was choosing distance. In the guest room, he closed the door, but not with a slam. I stood outside like I was waiting for him to come back and beg for answers. He did not. After a minute, I heard a soft click, like a drawer locking. I told myself he was being dramatic. I told myself he wanted to scare me. I went back to the living room and tried to regain the energy. I laughed too loud and told everyone it was not as bad as it sounded. I said, marriage can make people do crazy things. I said I was finally honest, and honesty should be respected. My father looked up then and asked what I meant by finally. I said he should not judge me from one night. He said it sounded like more than one night. Maris poured more drinks and asked if we should switch topics. Daphne said Ethan would get over it because he was not the type to leave. That sentence hit me in a sharp place. It sounded like a guarantee. I liked it. I held it like a shield. Later, Ruth came out of the kids' room and said Lila was awake. She said Lila wanted Ethan. I said Lila could have me. Ruth said Lila asked for her father. I rolled my eyes and said kids always pick the soft parent when they want something. Ruth did not answer. She just walked away, and that silence felt like a slap. In the morning, Ethan came out early. His face looked flat, like he had already cried in private and put it away. He asked if the kids could eat breakfast. I said yes, and I asked if he wanted to talk. He said he only wanted to talk about the drive home and the kids. On the way back, I sat in the passenger seat and tried to sound reasonable. I told him I said those things because I was drunk. I told him I also said them because I wanted to stop lying. I told him confession should count as love. He asked if I was sorry. I said I was sorry that it hurt him. He asked if I was sorry for doing it. I said it happened because our marriage had holes. He asked if that was my final answer. I said it was the honest answer. He drove with both hands on the wheel. He did not speed. He did not take angry turns. He just drove like a man carrying something heavy and trying not to spill it. At home, he brought the bags in without speaking. He asked me to send him the kids' school schedule for the next 2 weeks. I said he already knew it. He said he wanted it in writing. I asked why. He said he wanted to plan. That night, he slept in the guest room again. I walked past the door and heard a soft beep, like a phone recording starting. It stopped when my steps got close. I told myself I was imagining it. I told myself he was too nice to do anything serious. The next day at the dental clinic, I tried to act normal. I told Maris that Ethan was being cold. I told Daphne that he was doing silent punishment. I said it was emotional abuse, because silence can be abuse. That word made me feel powerful. It made me feel like I was the injured one. At lunch, I checked my phone and saw Ethan had changed the password on our streaming account. It was small, but it felt like a message. I texted him and asked why. He replied that it was a security update and he would share it later. I said he was being petty. He did not reply. At school pickup, Lila walked to the car slow. She asked why Dad did not come to breakfast. I said he had work. She asked if Dad was mad at me. I said Dad was tired and sensitive. She said she heard me at the lake house. I asked what she heard. She said she heard people get quiet and she heard Ruth crying. My throat tightened and I felt annoyed that Ruth had let Lila notice anything. I told Lila that grown-up talks are confusing. I told her Dad and Mom were working on things. She asked if Dad was leaving. I said no, and I said Dad was not that kind of man. At the supermarket checkout, Ethan stood beside me with the cart. He asked if we could keep receipts for the week. I asked why we suddenly needed receipts. He said it helped with budgeting. I said budgeting was his hobby. He said he wanted clarity. At home, I saw a folder on the counter with a plain label. Household. Beside it was another. Bank. It looked too neat. It looked like a teacher's desk. I asked what it was. He said it was organization. I asked if he thought I could not handle our life. He said he thought we needed structure. I tried to push him. I told him he was acting superior. I told him he enjoyed watching me panic. He said he was not enjoying anything. He asked me to stop turning his calm into an attack. I said, calm can be cruel. That night, I woke up thirsty. I walked to the kitchen and saw his laptop open on the table. The screen showed a spreadsheet with rows and dates, but no title I could read from where I stood. I also saw a small notification on his phone screen that flashed and disappeared. File uploaded successfully. I froze. Ethan came in quietly behind me and asked if I needed water. I said yes. He poured it and slid the glass toward me. He did not touch my hand. He did not look angry. That calm felt worse than anger, because I could not fight it. I told myself he was trying to look like the good man. I told myself he was building a story where I was the monster. I told myself I had to keep control of the narrative. But when I went back to bed alone, I could not stop thinking about the folders, the spreadsheet, and that little upload message that vanished like a warning. I tried to act like nothing was changing, but the house had a new sound. It was not loud. It was a careful sound, like everything was being placed in the right spot on purpose. Ethan started wiping the counters after dinner, even when it was my turn. He started packing the kids' lunches in a row, labels facing out. He started setting 2 separate grocery lists on the fridge, one with my handwriting and one with his. I told myself he was being petty. I told myself he was trying to show me I was replaceable. I also told myself I did not care, but my body kept noticing every small shift. The next morning, I walked into the kitchen and saw the guest room key on his keyring. I had never seen it there before. I asked why he had it. He said it was his room for now, and he wanted privacy. I said husbands and wives do not need privacy from each other. He said they do when trust is broken. I said he was exaggerating. He said he was protecting his peace. He asked if we could keep our talks focused on the kids. I said that was not a marriage. He said the marriage was already injured and he was not going to bleed in circles. I said he talked like a robot. He said he talked like someone who did not want to fight. Later, at the dental clinic, I tried to rebuild my normal face. I smiled at patients. I fixed billing issues. I answered calls like nothing was wrong. But my phone felt heavier in my pocket, like it was full of secrets that wanted to fall out. In the lobby, I ran into Mason. He asked if I was okay because I looked tired. I said I was fine and that my husband was being moody. He said men get moody when women stop needing them. I told myself that sounded true. It made me feel less guilty. It also made me feel powerful. At lunch, Maris asked what happened after the lake house. I said Ethan was doing silent punishment. I said he was trying to make me beg. Maris said I should not beg. She said I should post something soft online so everyone could see I was trying. She said public kindness forces private shame. I liked that idea. It sounded like control. So I posted a photo of the kids from last month and wrote a short line about family and forgiveness. I did not mention Ethan's name, but I knew people would read it like a message. I told myself it was mature. I told myself I was protecting us. I told myself I deserved credit for trying. Ethan did not like it. That evening, he asked why I posted about forgiveness. I said I wanted to show we were okay. He asked if we were okay. I said we could be if he stopped punishing me. He said he was not punishing me. He said he was setting boundaries. I said boundaries were just a nicer word for control. He said I used the word control whenever I could not get my way. He started doing something else too. He started texting me, only short lines. He said what time he would pick up Noah. He said what time Lila's school event started. He asked for confirmation. He did not argue in text. He did not add feelings. It made me feel like I was talking to a customer service line. I tried to force a real talk in the driveway after school pickup. The kids were in the back seat, tired and quiet. I asked Ethan why he was acting like a stranger. He said he was acting like a father who needed stability. I said the kids needed us together. He said the kids needed peace more than they needed a picture. I told him I could change. I told him I had confessed because I wanted a clean start. I said the truth should mean something. He asked what change looked like. I said it looked like him forgiving me. He asked how forgiveness worked without accountability. I said accountability was me admitting it. He said admitting was the first step, not the last. I tried a different angle. I said he had also failed me. I said he neglected me. I said he made me feel unwanted. He asked if I was saying his neglect caused my choices. I said yes, because actions have reasons. He said reasons do not erase responsibility. I told him he was being cold. He said he was being clear. Inside the house, I saw a new labeled folder on the shelf. School. Beside it was medical. I heard a locked drawer click in the guest room when he walked past it. I asked what he was locking. He said personal items. I said we do not hide things in marriage. He said we also do not betray each other in marriage. That night, I heard his phone alarm go off once, soft and quick. I caught the label on the screen when he turned it down. It said, paper drop. He did not look at me. He just got up, went to the garage, and came back with nothing in his hands. I told myself he was doing it to scare me. My sister Daphne came over the next day and acted like she owned the living room. She asked Ethan why he was being so stiff. He said he was not interested in discussing our marriage with an audience. Daphne said he was punishing me and the kids. Ethan said the kids were cared for. Daphne said care is not love. Ethan said love without respect becomes noise. I jumped in fast and told Daphne he was just stressed. I said he would calm down. I wanted her on my side, but I did not want her pushing him too hard. If Ethan walked away, my story would break. A few days later, there was a holiday event at the community center. Lila's class was singing. Parents sat in rows of metal chairs. The room smelled like paper crafts and hot cocoa. I wanted this night to look normal. I wanted other parents to see us together. I wanted to feel like I still had the good family image. Ethan came, and he sat one chair away from me, not touching. He clapped for Lila. He smiled at her. He spoke to other parents politely. He looked steady. I hated that steadiness, because it made me look like the unstable one, even when I said nothing. After the show, another mom asked if we were coming to the winter fundraiser. Ethan said he would check the schedule. I laughed and said he always checked schedules like life was a spreadsheet. The mum smiled awkwardly. Ethan looked at me and asked if we could stop doing this in public. I said I was joking. He said my jokes kept cutting. In the parking lot, I tried to grab his arm. He stepped back, small and clean, like he did not want a scene. I asked if he was embarrassed of me. He said he was protecting the kids from tension. I said the kids already felt it because he was acting like a stranger. He opened the car door for Noah and buckled him in. He asked me to confirm the kids' pickup plan for the next week. I asked why he needed confirmation when we lived in the same house. He said he needed it because things were changing. I asked what that meant. He said it meant I should not rely on assumptions anymore. I felt heat rise in my face, and I did not want to cry in a parking lot. I told him he was enjoying this. I told him he wanted to punish me slowly. He looked at me for a long moment, and his face was not angry. It was tired. He asked me to listen. He said he was not going to yell. He said he was not going to beg. He said he was not going to play games. I said I was not playing games. He said the confession was not a game, and neither was what came after. I asked him what he was going to do. He closed the driver door gently, like he was ending a workday. He looked at me and said he would handle it properly. I thought Ethan meant a talk in the kitchen. I thought he meant a calm speech about working on us. So when Monday came, I walked into the dental clinic like I still had time to fix the story. By 9:20, I had already told 2 co-workers that Ethan was being cold and distant. I said he loved control. I said I had been honest and he was punishing me. They nodded the way people nod when they do not want to get involved. Around 10:05, the front doors opened and a man I did not know came in. He wore a plain jacket and carried a folder. He asked for me by full name. I said yes, and I asked who he was. He said he had legal documents for me. He asked if I would confirm my identity. I said I did not feel comfortable. He said he could wait for my manager or HR. My manager stepped out from the back office, and HR followed her. The man repeated himself, calm and formal. HR asked if this was about my home life. He said he could not discuss details, only service. I said this was harassment. He said it was lawful service. He handed me the packet anyway. HR watched. 2 co-workers pretended to check the schedule board, but I saw their eyes. I opened the top page and my stomach dropped. It was a divorce filing. There were temporary orders attached. It listed a parenting schedule starting today. It said the home was for Ethan's use for now. It said we should not post about each other online and should not involve others. It said communication should be focused on the kids and handled in a structured way. I laughed once, sharp and fake. I said Ethan was overreacting. HR asked me to step into the office. I said Ethan was unstable. HR said they were not judging, but I needed to calm down. I called Ethan. He did not answer. I texted him and asked what he was doing. A minute later, he replied that he was doing it properly and that we would follow the temporary plan. Then my phone rang again. It was Lila's school office. They said they received an updated pickup list and wanted to confirm today's plan. I stared at the papers in my hands, and the lobby felt too quiet to breathe.